Test 1 2. We are recording. Hello, everybody. And bringing that music down. Hello. We are the Poets Foundry. Say hello, Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
All right, so this is our second podcast. We've been dealing with holidays and all that good stuff, so that's all over, going into the spring, and we've got some poems for you, both from Instagram and just from some old classic poets on my part. And Stephanie's got some great Instagram poets for you to listen to. And remember, you can always submit to the Poets Foundry and we will read you here. But if you don't want to be read, you can let us know. Either way, we're still posting, and we're just getting that platform rolling. And we love you, and we can get right into the poetry. So, ladies first.
How about you tell them where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook?
Yes. All right. So I'm going to put some titles somewhere around here. But you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com /The Poets Foundry, right? And you can find me at instagram.com /DZacharyPoetry. I will put this stuff up on the screen. And Stephanie, you can find her at...
You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com /Stephanie Lamb Poetry. Currently, I am not on Instagram, but I will be. And when I am, you can catch me at instagram.com /Stephanie_Lamb_poetry. Yeah.
Beautiful. You're a superstar. All right. Let's get the ball rolling. You're gonna go first, and then we'll go with me.
Fair enough. All right. This one is Aratui, and I don't think it's titled. She just captioned it with, "This piece of you is not poetic." Boy, you tasted like sin and wasted years. A future like nightmares promising me a migraine fever, and you hurt. We hurt. Touch-starved necklines, an odd prelude to the way our bodies melded together. Arms and legs moving like comets dancing. Backs exposed to kisses that tasted like graveyards. Lips sweeping across soft skin smeared with resistance, and an "I dare you to pull your heart from your mouth, to teach this son how sorrow is carried, and forego an invasion of this shipwrecked sailor crying out, I'll swallow your ocean, lover. I would hang your feelings to dry, stained with second thoughts and a dribble of, I want to run. I wanted to be the anomaly that taught you how to season your garden of tomorrow, how to plant your seeds and grow a vigorous thrum of life, catching freedom by its tail. You could tell me whispers of I love you and lies spoken behind bared teeth, belladonna singing in sweets, and I'd believe you because I'm honesty. Kissing luck one morning, morning drowning in all the regrets you wanted to ruin me with. I could tell you how angry you left me, how excavated I'd be, and how it was going to hurt, how we were going to hurt. Our memories are going to be louder than the rest. And then this loyal heart would memorize every escape route, knowing you'd break my stars and devour them slowly. Bruises forming quiet valleys, petunias raised from the dead stars with pretty names running familiarity in a never-ending need to catch your rhythm. Your urgency slipped into similes, sweaty fingers peeling back every layer of each other, feverish and tangled. There's a rhythm in your melancholy, a Saturnarian dream. I wanted to plunge into the unknown, knowing I could not swim and I would not resurface. I would let you take me under, spin me around and let me drown in coffin eyes on weather-worn skin, vibrant and sad truths of nightlights left on to burn out. And it taught me no one shines forever. We drop, melt away dreams full of spirits not yet crushed by showers of sadness, and we wish we could swim up the river instead of going 6 feet under. Lips split, tongues curling around what was ethereal about us, all heated murmurs spilling into chaos, sentences pricking my fingertips, turning them bloody. Your faux fragility setting off bombs, landmines in my bones. My body suddenly lost between the spaces without you, hollow throat, lonely. I realized it, couldn't you? We were honeyed, a sweet summer soaking in moonlight, warmed bodies losing track. Just a seasonal love, not a lifetime of aphrodisiac-driven devotion that even thoughtful boys with delirious stares got swallowed by. You see, not all men lust after stale candy love, that sticky skin kind of saccharine dilemma, but you were a full body heist, a eulogy of words unspoken caught up in you. Chest aching, knees shaking, you fell. You begged your God, but he would not take the time to save you from us. My bones would engorge supernovas, contain a contamination of nebulas colliding. We'd become impartial and lazy, go down hazy, indistinct daydreams of each other, bonds forming and breaking, affection spilled like paint on white bed sheets, smudged like the Milky Way. Suddenly grounded, we were well loved, stardust stricken, golden even. My constellations illuminating your face, horror stretched out and resting there, realizing we had become second nature to one another, and we were also wayward sweethearts turning into adversaries, lost sailors following siren songs into the uncharted, betrayal spoken like Bible verses, holy water burning. You weighed like gravity in my expanse, and we decided we'd leave on our own terms. There would be no heaven highs dragging us back down to earth, somehow pulled back to breaks and mistakes because we were always more than we were not. And you know, loneliness has a way to forgive, and maybe then we would be done carving routines out of one another. Shelf lives dust high, left to feel raw. Even now, I am aching in the trenches you left, and still, When I wake up, empty mouthed, I am reaching for you out of habit, and it stings. There's some toxicity burning through these veins, haunted and uneasy, so delicately edged, and somewhere, maybe at the back of your throat with your tongue against your palate, I'm sure I could find an apology. Just a tiny little taste of, sorry, my love vandalized you. And I tell you, it was okay. And that was Aratui. I have no idea what it's called. I love that piece though.
What the? You said I wouldn't like that piece. Come on,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
You liked it?
I
Okay.
I love that.
I didn't know if you would like that one. It's a longer, she always writes like these epically long ones, but that one I think is the longest one I've ever read from her. And yeah,
Well,
I like
it's
it.
not like I don't like poetry. Like I love all poetry. It's just
I know,
you know what I mean. So
I know.
love poetry is hard to nail. Like you can do the real romantic, knight in shining armor shit, or you can do that beautiful unrequited stuff, which is she nailed that right there. Or she, or I'm
Hmm.
not. We both don't know, do we?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah. I think it's a she. It reads like a she, but I hate to plug in a gender on these poets that you're unsure of.
yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Did you just misgender me? I'm Dylan. I'm the divine feminine here.
Hmm.
Turn Mary into a man. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna write a poem about that. Actually.
That's truth. I think you should.
Okay.
That was some truth there.
Okay. So my mom's been doing poetry. A lot of my family actually been writing poetry for a long time. So I know I sent you one the other day. I sent Stephanie, everybody listening, I sent Stephanie a poem, but this one sort of stuck out, and it's handwriting, and she writes like a goddamn doctor, so, you know, it's like reading a prescription. But I'm going to try to do my best. If I stutter, forgive me, but I think I've got most of it. I read over it a few times. There'd be no problem if it was typed out or something, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's hard to read handwriting.
So this one is called Let's Talk by my mother, Judy Mowat. Let's talk. Let's talk about the tortured poet and how poets need their pain. I can tell you this. Pain is where I stick my feet into those cute high heels that sour sadist revealed. And torture is listening to my son's rap music for more than an hour, but you know, I can do the tortured thing. I can feel the pain and talk about my shattered soul, my lonely walks in the rain. I can talk about a long lost love and how my heart just yearns. How the nights are long and cold, how my hunger laughs. So let's talk, cliched and silly. Let's do the poet thing. But I'll just sit there thinking, God, I wish the telephone would ring. 'Cause I know that the true meaning of being lonely is the sound of loud music when you're the last one up at the party and can't find a place to sleep.
Mm, I love it.
She has so
Ah,
she has so many of these. Oh my God. Go ahead. What were
I
you
think
gonna
it's
say?
so cool that no, it's just wonderful that your mom writes poetry and that she shared it with you. And yeah, and that you got that part of her DNA.
It's right here, my heart.
Hmm. Yep.
So she's got so many of those. I'm like, pull them out. We'll put them in a book. Like, don't let them sit in that
Yeah.
trunk. She has
She's
this trunk
amazing.
full of writing. So
Oh, She needs to put, yeah, you guys need to put a book out. Like, yeah, even
I
together, that would be really cool. I don't know how many, mother son
no, I'm pretty sure
poetry
there's
books
there's
there
a
are.
few. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think that would be nice.
Alrighty, what you got for us?
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with this is a poet called word.waste.her or words.waste.her. So words waste her, and she is on Instagram. This is called A Travesty of Cotton Candy, and I hope I do this one some justice.
Love cotton candy.
Yeah, yeah. I think the title's a little misleading, but you'll it. Yeah. Anyway, I wake to the dark, irises screaming against electric blue screens. I wake to the world falling apart. Australia is burning, the coral reef is dying, the oceans are acidifying, the politicians are lying, and the tide is still rising. Smoke chokes the red skies. The sunrise, a yellow lullaby that died in the black mouths of the mines. Tell me the truth in all lies. I'm gathering bouquets of broken feathers and ashtrays of hopeless quitters and burning decay into bonfire flowers. The pyre petals death as cure, words as cursed, a travesty of cotton candy swirled from lives too unremarkable for memory. This thing called poetry is a cancer of meaning on the untroubled being of nature. We want so badly to believe, to curve the ending towards happy. Craft blistered bones is tragedy. But who writes the blaze as glory, films the flame as hero, as valiant, not villain? There goes the words again, painting sunsets to epiphanies, to magazines and advertising. I know you want it. The sob story as sonnet, the burning bush as 10 commandments. Thou shalt save the koala and kill the corruption. Thou shalt atone for the sins against the blue bins of history. Recycle the grief into green, into gone, into growing things, into money makes the world go wrong, into money makes the words all wrong, into money makes the hands create. And words are no way to right these wrongs. Hmm. And that was from Words Waste Her. And
Oh
that was,
my god.
it's good, right? That was
That
obviously
is
it's about, the Australia wildfires, but also just how fucked up we are on this planet as a whole, and a call to really like make a change. Don't just say you're doing something, like action, do it.
it is so good. Like that's the type of poetry I absolutely love.
I knew that you would like that
It's
one.
so because it's so real. It's about being human. It's about saving
Hmm.
this planet. It's about doing something right, you know? Like a lot of poetry is great. And they're all writing love poems for each other and I love poetry. But man, that shit right there gets into my heart and is like,
Yep.
thank you. Thank you for writing that.
I so hope my phone doesn't like fall off of my mirror. It's looking
You'll
a little feisty there.
don't drop
So,
the audience. They're in your hands.
oh God. Sorry guys if all of a sudden it falls. I will fix it, but yeah. What do you got for us?
All right. So while going through poetry with my mom's old poetry, she found something she printed out. And I've never heard of John Gillespie McGee, but this poem blew me away. And I was like, I gotta read this.
Yeah.
Here it is, printed. High Flight, it's called, by John Gillespie McGee. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things. You have not dreamed of wield and sword and swung. High in the sunlit silence hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long delirious burning blue, I've toppled the wind swept heights with easy grace where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent lifting mind I've trod the high untrespassed sanctity of space, put my hand out and touched the face of God.
Mm,
Beautiful.
wow.
Now,
I love that.
a little story on that. Apparently, he was he did a lot in his life, but he became a fighter pilot, and I think it was in World War II. He wanted to fly what's called a Spitfire, and he was flying it. He became one of the people to fly it. He was flying it, and the G forces knocked his consciousness out of his mind. So
Mm-hmm.
he basically popped open his third eye, and
Ooh,
he just became one with the universe through this G
right.
force, and that's the poem that came. He wrote it that same day when he landed. And I mean, for anybody that's opened their third eye, it's kind of awesome. It can be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
The world becomes
Yeesh.
a virtual video game, but yeah, it also can really bring out some beauty in the
Mm-hmm.
poetry you write, and that's an example of that. So
Does he have more poetry? Like, did you look to see? Is that
I actually haven't, like, I just kind of picked this out today when I was looking through my mom's poems. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. So I
oh,
will be looking at more of his stuff, but yeah,
nice?
I love that
Yeah, I
poem.
love that, and that's cool. That like I love poetry that has a backstory like that. I mean, there's so many poets that just like auto write and they just write and write and they put them out and there's the books and then but there's not a whole lot of story behind each piece.
Hmm.
And I love when I run across one that has that backstory, and that's an awesome backstory. I like that.
And just, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what do you call it, a flow state, the
Oh
auto
yeah.
writing. That's sort of what the new poetry is all about, which is good because you're really purging. But like you said, it's like when there's just something that happens to you in your life and you get home and you're like, you write this classic poem, right? Like
Hmm.
that's the beauty of it. So there's nothing wrong with either type of poetry, but yeah, I agree with you
Oh
there.
yeah. No, yeah, I that's absolutely. I read a lot of what I read live and on these podcasts is the train of thought, the auto writes. Matter of fact, the next one that I'm going to read is very much like that. So,
Awesome.
um this one is from Trans Writings, of course. I love Tyler. And that's a handle on Instagram if you guys like this and want to follow. It is again Trans Writings, plural writings, all one word. Awesome poet.
Definitely.
And this is poem number 151. He doesn't title his poems, he just numbers them. So, hold me, hold me, hold me. And I keep having dreams about a house I don't live in anymore. And I have learned that bad dreams know your name. I always run to the back door first, and there you are with a knife or a gun, and I'm scared, terrified. I run to the front door, and it's locked. And I take too long to put on my shoes, and you chase me up the stairs instead into bedrooms with no beds to hide under and no window to throw myself from. And Sometimes I know it's a dream. Sometimes I know it's a dream, and still I hide behind doors. And one time I think I hid in the bathtub where you found me holding my breath, and there was nowhere else to go. And I woke shaking and still not breathing. I woke next to you, your back turned away. Thank fuck. So I can hold on to you like you're someone else for now. Just don't turn to look at me. Don't, please. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Stay asleep. Keep your breath steady for now, love. Love, love. That's who you are. Not my nightmare, not the house I used to live in. Here I am with you in this new house, and it's perfect. Aren't we perfect, love? Isn't our love perfect? Don't ask me why I think of you trying to kill me. Don't. Just let me hold on to your back for now. Let me wrap my legs up with yours. Hold my sweaty hands as you wake. But no, 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 no. Go back to sleep, please. I think you were dreaming of something good. You can sleep. I'm fine. I promise I'm fine. I have you here, and what more could I need? Sleep. I'll sleep too eventually. I just need I just need to stay awake a moment on my own, get rid of the nightmares and get rid of the you from my mind. Remind myself that it's you that's here now, not him, not him, not him. You, you, him. This house or that? The walls without windows or the ones I can see the moon through now? Is it all the same? Is it all the same, really? Maybe it's just all the same and the nightmares are waking. And you've always known my name. And that was Trans Writings. Yeah.
That was incredibly good. And let me just add, like, your reading is so phenomenal. Like, you've just gotten so much better. Like, I mean, I'm
Thank
not
you.
saying you were bad when you started or anything. You've
No,
always been
I
great.
was. No. I was pretty bad. I've looked at like some of my older stuff and some of my I had voice clips on my phone, and I looked at some of those and I was like, "Oh God, this is awful."
I think
So
we all
thank
do
you.
that. You know,
Yeah.
you look back at your old stuff, but that was a phenomenal read of a phenomenal poem. So
Thank
great
you.
job, Trans Writings, and yourself. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
all right. I've wanted to get this one out for a while. It's a bit longer. Um, so let me just get this one out of the way, and then all the other poems I have are sort of short. But this is Saul Williams, of course, my favorite poet
Yay.
of all time. Saul
Hmm.
Williams. He was sent to Earth to stop me from choosing the wrong side. Untimely,
And
untimely.
that is for another podcast.
It's an inside joke, everybody. All right.
Hmm.
Untimely Meditations by Saul Williams from his album Amethyst Rockstar. Now he's actually done this as a slam poem in live setting, which is where I saw it, but I didn't actually know it was from his album Amethyst Rockstar. Such a great album. So let's just get it started. Untimely Meditations. Bear with me. This is the first time I've ever read it, and I haven't listened to the slam poem that much, so it'll be sort of. All right. Saul Williams, Untimely Meditations. The fiery sun of my passions evaporates the love lakes of my soul, clouds my thoughts and rains you into existence, as I take flight on bolts of lightning, claiming chaos as my concubine and you as my me. I of the storm, you of the sea, we of the moon, land of the free. What have I done to deserve this? Am I happy? Happiness is a mediocre standard for middle class existence. I see through smiles and smell truth in the distance. Beyond one dimensional smiles and laughter lies the hereafter. Where tears echo laughter, you'd have to do the math and to To divide a smile by a tear times fear equals mere truth. I simply delve in the air, and if that's the case, all I have to breathe and all else will follow. That's why drums are hollow, and I like drums. Drums are good, but I can't think straight. I lack the attention span to meditate. My attention spans, galaxies here and now are immense. Seconds are secular, moments are mine. Self is illusion, music's divine. Noosed by the strings of Jimmy's guitar, I swing, purple hazed pendulum, hypnotizing the part of I that never dies. Look into my eyes are the windows of the soul. It's fried chicken, collies, and cornbread. It's corn milk, flour, sour cream, eggs, and oil. It's the stolen blood of the earth used to make cars, runs, and kill the fish. Who? Me? I play scales, the scales of dead fish, of oil slick seas. My sister blows wind through the hollows of fallen trees, and we are the echoes of eternity, echoes of eternity, echoes of eternity. Maybe you've heard of us. We do rebirths, revolts, and resurrections. We threw basement parties in pyramids. I left my tag on the wall. The beats would echo off the stone and solidify into the form of light bulbs destined to light up the heads of future generations that recently lit up in the form of Om. Maybe you've heard of us. If not, then you must be trying to hear us. And in such case, we can't be heard. We remain in the darkness, unseen. In the center of unpeeled bananas, we exist, uncolored by perception. Clothed to the naked eye, five senses cannot sense the fact of our existence. And that's the only fact. In fact, there are no facts. Fax me a fact, and I'll telegram or hologram. I'll telephone the Son of Man and tell him he is done. Leave a message on his answering machine telling him there are none. God and I are one. Times moon, times star, times sun. The factor is me. You remember me. I slung amethyst rocks on Saturn blocks till I got caught up by earthling cops. They wanted me for their army or whatever. Picture me. I swirl like wind, tempting tomorrow to be today, tiptoeing the fine line between everything and everything else. I am simply Saturn, swirling sevenths through soothe the soul living air of air and I, and all else follows, reverberating the space inside of drum hollows, packaged in bottles and shipped to tomorrow, then sold to the highest. I swing from the tallest tree, lynched by the lower branches of me, praying that my physical will set me free, 'cause I'm afraid that all else is vanity. Mere language is profanity. I'd rather hum or have my soul tattooed on my tongue and let scriptures be sung in gibberish, 'cause words be simple fish in my soul aquarium. And intellect can't swim, so I stopped combing my mind so my thoughts could lock. I'm tired of trying to understand. Perceptions are mangled, matted, and knotted away. Life is more than what meets the eye and I, so I elevate to the third. But even that shit seems absurd when your thoughts leave you third isolated. No man is an island, but I often feel alone, so I find peace through Om.
Oh God, so much.
That dude is, he's next level. He is the sun. My God, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love he does so well. He mixes all these different components like alliteration and like segues. Like he was talking about in one part, he was talking about like the scales, basically the scales of justice, and then he went into fish scales. Like he segues into these different, and he does it so flawlessly and so like uninterrupted. It's beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is. I couldn't have said it better, and I don't want to try. I mean, that poem just blows me away. I can't believe I made it through, but man.
You did an amazing job on that. You always do an amazing job reading him. Well, reading anything, but it's just kind of like a natural knack for you. But yeah, like you can tell that you really feel his poetry when you.
He is my heart. I am his heart. We
Yeah.
are one. So
Yep.
yeah, I love his poetry, and that one really gets to me. So
It was a
yeah,
really good one. Bravo. Nice pick.
awesome. So What do you have for us?
I have. This is called Small Neat Box, and this is by R_E_Murphy. That is their handle on Instagram. So R.E. Murphy. Since childhood, you deemed me too much. You folded me up into a small, neat box. Taped me close and labeled the casket too sensitive. Do not take up space. Do not break free of your box. This is your home now, your allotted space. Girl, your emotions are too big for this world, too wild for us to control. Your reactions are embarrassing. Your feelings are too heavy. Girl, you take up too much space. So get in this small, neat box and stay there. Maybe we will let you out one day. Maybe if you learn to stay silent, swallow your emotions, hide your sensitivity, we will let you out of the small, neat box. One day never came. Maybe meant not ever. It wasn't until I had my own children and my small, neat box became increasingly overcrowded that I became aware I was a prisoner. Shit. And because I was a prisoner, I was sentencing my children to the same fate. An entire lifetime spent rolled up and folded away. A miniature life. Shamed into silence, conditioned into denying their true selves. No, 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 no. Fuck that. If only. If only it was as easy as fuck that. Even as the realization, the acknowledgement arrived with sharpened blades cutting open the small, neat box, I dared not venture out of the cage. Even as recovery took my hands and hauled me to my feet, I could not take a step. I can't do it. I don't know how. I crumpled over and over again, back down to the small, neat box, back down to comfort. So accustomed to being small and keeping quiet, I could only crawl. I could only whisper, please, someone help me. Please. Dragging myself along the ground, please. The warriors gathered, a mighty force of women. Women, wings around me, they held me up until I could stand. Women feeding me truth until I grew strong. Women giving me a voice until I found my own. Women watering me with words of healing so I could soak, expand into my authentic self. Angel women sustaining my journey back to April 15, 1993, De Broid Parade, Haberfield, my 9th birthday. Me, crying on my bed because my friends ate my birthday chocolate. Mum sitting next to me. Of course you are crying today. You are too sensitive. April 15, 1993. My 9th birthday. The day I was gifted my small, neat box. Oh, 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 but now, I am no child. Now, I am not alone. My women hold my hand. They stand beside and behind. They offer me the strength of solidarity, the wisdom of my awakening. They cheer, applaud, stomp. They roar as I reinvent my history, as I heal my history, as I take my trauma, as I seize the years that were stolen from me. In the palm of my hand, I watch my entire life play out inside the small, neat box. My tiny, confined life. I take a match. I look my mother in the eyes of my teachers, mentors, men, the world, and I speak. I speak the words that have taken me 26 years to establish. No, I do not accept this lie. Sensitivity is not a weakness. I am not too much. I will not be shamed into this small, neat box. I refuse to make myself small. I refuse to be silenced. I will not hide my emotions. I will take up space. I will make noise. I will feel. I will feel all the feelings, even when it makes you uncomfortable. I strike the match. I watch the box burn. I dance in the flames. I am healed. I am reborn. That was Small Meat Box by R.E. Murphy.
We'll put you in this box and maybe we'll keep you there. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And all the stuff about healing and then burning the
Yes.
box at the end.
I knew you would love that one.
You try to
Yeah.
put me in a box, but I break that mold, you know? Don't let them
Yep.
put you in a box. Heal yourself. It's all about self-love and healing and getting rid of those old traumas that are inside of you, and that's what that poem's all about. It's so good. And all of
Yep.
this, all of the stuff about the women and the
Yes. Yes.
solidarity, and oh my god.
Define the divine feminine coming to help heal and show the way and pave the way. And yeah, I just thought it was a really beautiful poem about self-love and healing, and um the fact that she pinpointed exactly where that trauma was, the exact date. And I was 9 years old when I received this box, and here I am, I'm 26 and I'm breaking free. And god damn it, lucky girl, you're 26 and you're breaking free. It took me until I was in my 30s to figure all this out. So
She's ahead of the
it's,
game.
yeah, it's just awesome. So yeah, if you like that one, that's R_E_Murphy, and that's on Instagram.
Go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely love that. Okay, so I have a shorter one, but with everything that's going on, I mean, in Canada with the protests and just like all the stuff in America, this poem really spoke to me. It's called I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother they send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America.
Mm,
My God,
I like that.
it's so relevant with like just all this stuff like Black Lives Matter, and then it just reminds me of the Native people of Canada and how they're dealing with just oppression, you know, from governments and just the color of their skin. And like my dad's Native, so that really hit me.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to bring it.
Um, well, yeah, you are
My whole
like
family's Native.
75% or something. Yeah. So, and it sucks that we still live in that world where you're defined by your skin tone. You're automatically labeled, and oftentimes the darker, the more discarded you are, the less value as a human you have. And that just isn't right, isn't fair. And you would think that in 2020 we would have our shit together enough to, yeah, not have these kind of things going on.
I know.
Um,
It's so
I
true.
mean, yeah, us as, Caucasians, we were not the original people that were here in America or Canada for that matter, or South America for that matter. Like I know where you are right now, there's a lot of commotion going on within the Native communities, and we certainly had our fair share of it down here in America. And where I am in America, our problem is like, well, not our problem, but our thing is we're fighting a lot about like the border from Mexico to the US.
Yeah, the
And
wall.
it's yeah, it's just it's the same principle of just, I don't know, like I was talking with my mother just yesterday kind of about this, and my uncle used to work for Border Patrol, and back in the day, and he's older, he's retired, you know, he's like in his 60s. I think he's almost 70 years old now. But you know, in his younger spry days when he worked for Border Patrol, back then they would actually like do daily employment of the illegal citizens to come and help, and they would get American pay, and then they would cross back over the border and go back to their families and feed their families. And like literally they worked for Border Patrol, just not as like an actual employee.
Wow.
And it seems like how is that we're going backwards, you see, on that. It just really fucking sucks that,
I mean,
yeah,
we could get into why. I mean,
yeah,
but then we don't want to be talking about politics on a
yeah.
poetry
It's a
podcast.
hot button issue, I
It
guess.
is.
But
I mean, politicians are I mean, poets are definitely politicians in their own right, but they fucking print shit in time. Sorry for my language. They put stuff in time. They nail it in stone. They put it in the
mhm,
pyramids. They put that's poetry. We're
mhm.
not politicians, but we still have something to say. So
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful.
yep. I think I'm gonna go with, this is called "What is Poetry to You?" And this is from Phoenix Sun 1111.
Very good
Um,
poet.
yeah, I'm really enthralled in her account. It's okay, so it's called Poetry is what it's called. And this is a three-part piece, but I'm only reading the first piece because each piece is kind of long. Um, what is poetry to you? He asks while buried in my lap. I stick my tongue out at him and start to contemplate such a question. Is it when you wake up with a whiskey hangover, turn onto your stomach and read Bukowski until breakfast? Poetry is the breaths you take when you know he's close behind you, chasing you, and you giggle like you're 14 again. It is when you talk someone off the edge, grab them and hold them to your chest because it hurts too much to imagine a world without them. Poetry is sleepless nights spent wrapped around you till we both are wordless and breathless. It is when my love isn't enough for you and you walk away from my heart without a second glance in my direction. Poetry is when you bite my neck and I want to suck your bottom lip till you beg me to put my hands down your pants. It is this young and reckless rooftop love affair where we watch the stars and smoke cigarettes till the morning light wearing ski masks. Poetry is battling your demons, cutting them out of your skin and giving them a home on paper. It is when you miss coming home to me and you think about me dancing in the kitchen wearing only panties. Poetry is the way you lock your fingers into my hair so we can both lose track of time again. It is the way it fingers your wounds just to make you much braver than you've ever thought you could be. Poetry is the distance between two souls who know of each other and still don't collaborate. It is when you are in love with a city you've never walked upon but crave to know it intimately. Poetry is when you grab my ass in public and we both don't care who is watching it all unfold. It is when you sink down into the quicksand of feelings that pull you under till darkness dissects you for its pleasures. Poetry is when I want to write it into existence with you, but without crying this time. It is when you get deja vu and you can't get the taste of me off of your lips. Poetry is the sweat beads that drop onto my bareness as we talk in rhythm and rhyme every morning. Mm. That's Poetry Is by Phoenix Sun 1111.
Oh
One.
my God, she nailed it.
1111.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, what is poetry? Poetry just isn't writing. It's like, okay, it reminds me of that book, this poem by Kerouac, or maybe it was a quote, and he's like, these beat poets, they fill up a book of poetry and they walk around and they dress up all, fancy, and they say, I'm a poet, look at my poetry book, But
Hmm.
that's not what poetry is. Poetry is intimate moments that you don't even fucking write about. You know what I mean? And if
Hmm.
you choose to write about them, well, I don't want to cry this time. Or it's two
Yeah.
lovers who know about each other but don't collaborate. Like, that
Or a
poem blew me
city that
away.
you want, yeah, a city you want to know intimately. And yeah, poetry is a feeling. It's painting with words. It's capturing a moment, taking a picture, with words. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it a million words, 1,000 words, whatever that saying is. That's poetry. So yeah, I really get lost in all of her work. I am a huge fan. I think I check out her page probably daily. And I think she produces about one or two each day too. So and they're all
Yeah, I mean,
good.
I started on Instagram last January, and she was one of the first like 100 to follow me. So
Oh, really?
I've always really liked her poetry. So,
She's actually like kind of new to me.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
I think she was something else before she changed to Phoenix Sun or something else.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, because I yeah, I met her as Phoenix Sun, but
I can't remember the old name, but either way, that was a wonderful poem, catching
mhm.
exactly what poetry is. It's an emotion you feel in the moment, not just words that you
Absolutely.
know. So she said Bukowski in there, and I have two poems by Bukowski today. Um, and one's shorter and one's longer. The first one is called The Laughing Heart, and it ends on the gods wait to delight in you, and then roll the dice. I'm just going to do both poems because they work so well together. I actually heard
Okay.
this in a motivational video.
Mhm.
They put both poems together, and I thought it was one, but then I had to like Google it and find out it was two. So here it is: The Laughing Heart, and then Roll of the Dice together as one by Charles Bukowski, our favorite whiskey drinker. All right. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life. Sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is a gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it, and you'll do it despite rejection and the worst odds, and it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it all the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. Ah.
Mm.
You know, so many people they like he's a classic poet. He's an immortal. He's a legend. But so many people look at his poetry and they're like, "Oh, he's an asshole. He drinks and he's, you know." But then you get these two poems and you're like, "Wait a minute. Maybe we're not looking at the real Charles Bukowski, you know."
Hmm.
So,
Oh yeah, he definitely he had that very like abrasive kind of fu side to him, but he also had a very gentle and almost like romantic side to him, and kind of a I don't even know quite how to explain it. Like I'm at a loss for words about him, but yeah, he had these two different dueling type of personalities. And you have to just really like dig through his work to really see that. It's but he yes, he has been labeled as like the a-hole poet.
yeah. I mean, like
Definitely.
you're right. Like he's a romantic. He's a knight, but he's also a sword. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
he can bring it. He's both,
Yeah.
and he balances it
Yep.
quite well. So, love those two poems. I've got two left. What do you have for us next?
It's a good one. Let's see. Oh God, it's that name I don't know how to pronounce. uh, Quixotic. Querin-
Quixotic Quarencia, I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yes. Sure. Um, Another Instagram poet, and this one, I don't think it's, or wait, yeah, it's called Love Letters to the Sky. I write love letters to the sky, but never bodies. And I could count the metaphors for myself on one hand, but the world is brimming with intricate phrases. Things like hands curling around each other, homecoming, letters scrawled in a messy hand. And he has the brightest smile. And it is February, the month of candied hearts and red roses wrapped in soft declarations. It's about pastel sunrises and lips saturated in pretty confessions. It's the day after my father's birthday, and something like bees have been released in my stomach. They were not content to stay there, so they crowd together in the middle of my throat to build a hive intent on producing fear instead of honey. And his eyes are beautiful. So I'm trying not to think about it all because the world doesn't stop just to let my heart catch up. And I'm trying to swallow hope because perfect things don't exist and lovely things don't happen to me. Not like this. Not falling into place with ease. Quiet hellos and smiles edged in shyness. But the days seem outlined in sunshine lately. And something about feeling clumsy is magical. I haven't felt anything but ancient in so long. I cannot quite wait. And it's all I've been doing. Hmm. That was Love Letters to
Is
the
that it? I
Sky.
was like waiting for more. That was so good.
Yeah, I really am enjoying their account. Gosh, and they have under 1,000 followers too. But yeah, they're all, and I love the aesthetic of this one. like, a lot of people do the cover on Instagram. A lot of people do like a cover picture, and I sometimes I think it makes the page look rather messy, but I love the way she does it. It's very soft. I don't know. It's very
Mm,
soft with those cover ones, and it's just, yeah,
it's nice on the eyes.
I'm really enjoying this page.
I
Mm,
really like the
yeah.
metaphor about the bees and how they make a hive in her throat, intent
hmm
on producing fear instead of honey. Like,
Yep. Yeah, and with that too is, the throat chakra, the throat, it's communication, it's, opening up for and saying like that's blocked. And usually you fear is based on the unknown, you know. That's what produces fear, and you need communication in order to know, to gain knowledge and get over fear. And the bees in the throat was just like really, yeah, I liked that part of it too. I thought that was awesome. And I picked it because it references February and it being the month of like love, and you know, just yesterday, right? Yesterday
yeah,
was
yesterday was
Valentine's
Valentine's Day.
Day. Yes. My mother was my Valentine. She's gotten me this set. This it's a train set, and I get like one of them every one of the carts every like 3 or 4 weeks, and they're Nightmare Before Christmas themed, which is one of my favorite movies, and I love it, and it's so cute, and it's supposed to be like Halloween decor or maybe even Christmas. I'm gonna leave it up all year round. I love them. I love them so much, and that's what she
I
brought
love
me.
Jack Skellington. He
Yeah,
was
yeah, and that's what she brought me yesterday was
that's
another one of,
amazing.
yeah. It's a really good movie. I love that movie. It's
It's
probably been a little while. Yeah. So,
I love it.
all right.
He finds Christmas and it just changes everything about his darkness. It's beautiful.
hmm Well, yeah, then pretty much the entire town. It's like, yeah, I really, yeah.
As for the bees, save the bees. Save the
hmm
birds. Save the flowers and the trees. Let's get rid of all the weeds. Okay? Let the wind blow. All right. I have Maya Angelou. Oh, you want to be a poet? You got to put some Maya Angelou deep in your veins, okay? Well, I'm not gatekeeping. Okay, you don't have to, but it's suggested. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history. With your bitter, twisted lies, you may tread me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why you are beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hopes springing high. Still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Love it. That's so awesome. That was really a good like empowerment piece. That was really, I love that.
And being attacked, I mean, poetry is
Yep.
just a bunch of souls at war, okay? So if you feel you're being attacked by poetry, write your own goddamn defense just like she did, and that's what that is. It's beautiful.
Yep, it was. That was really awesome. Loved it. Whew. Okay. I have this is J.T. Elizabeth. It's a shorter one. I just really liked the message of this one. And I don't know that it's titled, but in the caption she says, "Be a friend wherever you are. Serve the community you already have."
Beautiful.
Hi, Angel. Are you gonna come up here? Come on, come on. She's just sitting here going,
Yeah,
come on,
she's chirping. I love
come on.
cats.
Me too. This is she's old. Um, are you gonna come up or not? Come on. Make room. Okay, all
I
right.
want to
We'll
come
let
up,
her
but
figure out.
fuck you. No,
I
I'm just.
I mean she's gonna end up coming up here like right in the middle of me reading or something, and I'm gonna have a claws in my thigh. Although most of her claws I have them like little rubber caps on them because I refuse to declaw her. That's just cruel.
Yeah, it is
But
definitely.
I don't want my furniture and carpet. There she is. I don't want it all messed up. So I have these little rubber claws that I found on Amazon, and you just like put them
I've
over her
seen those.
nails.
Do those actually work
Mhm.
good?
They do. They really do. I mean, you do have to use a little bit of like nail glue, or some of they usually come with some. So it's kind of like super glue, which sucks, but it's better than declawing them. And they eventually they fall off. Sometimes hers get a little overgrown, and then I have to like take a warm rag to kind of loosen the glue so that they'll
Do
come off
they
and I can put a new one on.
do they hinder her in any way? I know like it stops her from scratching the couch, but scratching
No, I
herself
mean
or
yeah, they still can like paw and she still like tries because it's just in their nature. It just doesn't ruin my furniture anymore.
I when
So,
Slipper was alive, I had her for 16 years. I had a cat named Slipper, everybody. 16 years since I was like 19, and man, she destroyed my bed. She destroyed like 3 couches. I'd leave her at a
hmm
friend's house, their couch would be destroyed. Oh, don't even get me
yep.
started. I know all about that.
Yeah, she was going after my bed mattress, which is still like a fairly new and nice mattress. And then I have this, you can't see it because I don't have lights on it, but there's this retro chair back here that's like it's like a bright orange corduroy, and she has started clawing on that, and it was getting frayed, and I was like, no, because it's like straight from like the 60s or 70s, and I can't. I mean, I'm gonna die if I lose that chair.
Wow.
So yeah, she
I
got her.
I know. That's good.
I
I,
love her.
I, I saw those things, so I've always been curious. It's good to know they work.
They do. She doesn't like them much, but I don't like having to replace all of my shit.
Yeah.
So
Tough tough shit, Angel.
yeah, oh well, deal with it. Compromise. This is a compromise. All right. JT Elizabeth, J.T. Elizabeth. The world doesn't need more influencers. We don't need more consumerism or pretty things. We don't need more hustle and the empty accomplishments that come with it. We don't need more hours awake and the caffeine it takes to get there. We don't need more gifts under the tree. We don't need picture perfect houses that we can't even afford. We don't need more do it for the gram experiences. We don't need to spend more, have more, be more. We need people loving people. Yes. We need more people loving people. And that was JT Elizabeth.
I thought there'd be more, but it ended so good. It hits hard. That hits so hard.
Yes. That's what I thought too. I was like, I would like to see more, and that would have been cool. But she did end it kind of perfectly, and it's the to the point. It's a shorter piece, but it's very heavy hitting. So
We are in a time where all this social influence is. I mean, I showed you the website. You go to reddit.com, Instagram reality, and it's ridiculous what these people Photoshop on themselves. Like, it's just, nothing's real anymore, So.
yep, and that's sucky. And the fact of like it's social media can be used as a great tool to get like your message out. It can be used as a great way to serve a cause, but and there's a ton of people who are using it properly, but then there's also people who are using it improperly, which, each to each their own. You can't like police the internet, but yeah, I just like the way that she's like, we don't need more influencers and we don't need more, consumerism and the fake stuff. Like just love people,
We need
you know?
love. Love is all we need. And not just we need to love everybody and everything. This world. It's on us. Because God ain't gonna come down and save us, all right? If anything, God's gonna be like, "Yo, you're done." All right?
Annihilate us.
You didn't save it yourselves. We're gonna try this again, all right? Send another flood.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, well, no floods, but the next will be fire.
There.
So
I'm good
I
with
think,
fire.
yeah, I mean that's
We're burning up.
not just biblical, but it's like science, like eventually that sun is going to explode all over us, possibly turn into a black hole and then suck us in. But I mean, that's still like, I don't know, like 4.5 million or
I
whatever
think it's
years
million.
away
Yeah,
from
4 million
happening.
years
Yeah,
away. They said so.
yeah, from happening. So I think
Hopefully by
our
then
generation, we're good.
we're all
We've
collective
figured it
conscious.
out.
We don't need bodies anymore.
Yeah, we've figured it out. And all right.
Okay.
All right. Do you have one more?
I have one more. We are at an hour and 12 minutes. So we went over a little
Oh
bit.
gosh.
That's okay. It's okay. We wanted to keep the show an hour, everybody, but thank you if you've stuck around this long. And I'm going to end it on a very beautiful, wonderful poem by William Ernest Henley called Invictus, based on Soul Invictus, which is the unconquerable sun. It's wonderful. So, short to the point, and then we'll end it there. So this is Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds me and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Mm.
Never
That was
sell your soul,
delicious.
fam. Yeah, it's
Mm,
delicious. It just you could just eat that up all day. So
I love that. Yep, be the captain of your own ship,
definitely
your own soul. It matters. It does. It really matters. Don't let your pieces get lost. Don't give yourself away.
take those
Mm,
pieces from time. You're a time traveler, all right? You go back in time. You tell that old self, say it's okay. You're forgiven. Take that piece of you back and put it in your heart. All right,
mm-hmm.
because that's part of you. You don't want to leave those parts that you trapped in time. Take those parts back. That's your soul.
Healing.
So,
Yep, that's soul and healing. All right, so if you guys enjoyed that, then I maybe we should put the some of the handles in the description, but we'll definitely put our links. You can find us on Facebook, the Poets Foundry. We have a group, and you're more than welcome to join. We would love to read your work, which you can submit by either posting it on the Poets Foundry page on Facebook or sending it through DM or Messenger or whatever on Facebook too. We'll be glad to do that. You can find me under Stephanie Lamb Poetry. I have a page on Facebook. Don't have an actual account right now. I kind of took my personal pages down, but I do have my poetry page up on Facebook and Instagram at Stephanie underscore Lamb underscore poetry for now.
and I myself am D Zachary Poetry, one word on Instagram, and we are the Poets Foundry, and we
Mm-hmm.
thank you all for joining us on our second podcast. We plan to keep doing this for as long as we can, and we're just going to keep growing the platform. So we want you to submit if you want to be read. If not, we're just going to keep reading poetry we like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because
But yeah.
we like doing this.
We
Yeah.
we love it. We love
Um,
it. Poetry is an amazing art form. So
yeah, and right now we're doing it. We're trying to do a podcast once a month, but if demand grows, then we will do them more often. But for now, it's about once a month, and hopefully we'll be starting some kind of poetry challenges
getting into the classic poetry so that we can
and
teach you.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah, education. We'll be getting into that too. So, and you'll see all of that on the Facebook page. So do head over there, follow, join. We'd love to have you. And yeah, be part of our fam.
Welcome to the fam, the Poets Foundry. We will mold you from the fire that you are. And in fact, we're not going to mold you. We're going to teach you how to mold yourself. So, we love you. This is the Poets
Yep.
Foundry. And until our third podcast, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.